This is probably one of the most traumatizing treatments I've ever done. But not in a way I ever expected. It was as though some part of me had died. And some of you have also noticed I look a little different. But if you haven't been keeping up, I've been on a whirlwind beauty tour in Korea exploring the most cutting edge and trending beauty treatments this beauty-obsessed metropolis has to offer. It's given me so much insight, unexpected trauma, and lots of reflection in understanding the Korean approach to beauty.
Conquer the new fear!
Please watch those videos if you haven't caught up already because they've been surprisingly controversial. So yes, it's also caught a me off guard. Which brings us to today's episode where we're talking about our pearly whites. Did you know the most ideal smile should show 8 teeth? Well, neither did I, but now that I've told you, you're probably gonna start seeing it everywhere. From Hollywood celebs like Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift over the years, to even TV personalities on Netflix, and of course K-pop idols and actresses. And until now, I was always like, something looks different about them, but it's not their face. It was literally their teeth. So today, I'm gonna bring you along to not just any old dentist. This is Smile Studios in Gangnam, where the beautiful Dr. Young and her team help patients with an innovative service called dental lamination, which is something I've never heard before until I went to Korea, and can give you teeth whitening, Invisalign, and reshaping all at once. At this point, you might be going, Fel, what are you doing at a dentist? Your teeth are fine. And honestly, I would agree with you 100%. I really never had a problem, nor did I ever think about the aesthetics of my teeth. I feel like what makes us unique are these kind of quirks and imperfections, right? I had braces in my teenage years. I never wore my retainers after that. I was just too lazy. And I think it's because of that I went through this unexpected period of grief and sadness, especially the mental side of it that comes along with any kind of permanent change. And I really want to share my real thoughts and experiences with you guys because I know a lot of you've been asking questions on our IG as well. And by the way, this isn't a sponsored video. It was just part of, field research so that by the end you'll know all about this new dental lamination service, how it compares to other dental treatments like whitening or Invisalign, who it would best be suited for, but also important daily oral tips that I've learned along the way that you should be doing every day at home, whether you care about this or not. If you enjoy learning about all aspects of beauty, please subscribe to our channel. Click that little button. It would mean so much to our little team and myself. You might have heard about things like veneers or crowns and seen those shocking pictures where you only have like little nubs left. Horrifying hard pass. And the main reason you want to avoid shaving down your teeth like that is because our teeth are really precious. Anything that's kind of like we're born with and is God given, we should retain as much as we can. But in saying that, not everyone is born with good teeth or healthy teeth, and so dental treatments like these exist so that they can help to improve the longevity. So at Smile Studios, they offer a next generation dental lamination called Smile X.
And as you can see here, it's really thin. That's very important because I'm gonna be doing non-prep or minimal prep. So it's very different from what dentists normally did like 10-20 years ago. It's very important to like save your own teeth. If you could do anything beautiful, that's a plus.
It is so fine that you can actually see through it. And this is made out of a ceramic shell, which is adhered to your teeth. Now, depending on what your smile is like, what your face is like, the health of your teeth, the shape, the doctor will help you design the most natural look.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yes, this patient had grinding problems, so not much of his enamel was left.
Wow.
It just looked like this when she was born.
Yes.
The size was a little bit of a problem. The veneers only went in this one and this one. She didn't want all 6, she just wanted 2.
I see.
So the whole process took a total of 2 visits. It's actually insane. That would normally take upwards of like 6 months anywhere else. On the first day, you'll first do a very thorough x-ray.
Close your eyes. 촬영이 완료되었습니다.
Well, that was interesting. And this x-ray scans your jaw makeup, your skull, and the overall health of your teeth. They can see where you've had fillings, where you've had anything done. These are all my fillings. Then you go into the consultation, and within the consultation, Dr. Young, who by the way is gorgeous, she is so nice, will actually tell you what she sees biologically in your face, your jaw, and your overall gum and teeth health. So for example, she was able to pinpoint that my jaw was actually crooked. The muscles were stronger on the right side, and I actually wasn't using the left side as much, so my teeth were actually slanting down.
Got the little canteen here. You could see your bone has like this white lining. If it's really, really healthy, normally it's thicker, like this part. Everything shows that there was a little bit of a problem here.
None of my dentists in my life had ever told me that. On top of that, she said I had a crust bite, which means that my clenching was also irregular. Because of the misalignment, that my whole jaw was actually shifted slightly to the right. And so the middle was actually not in the middle, it was like somewhere over here.
Our midline was not matching our facial midline. And the line was a little bit like this.
Yeah, I never even realized it.
And she actually said through dental lamination, she could actually help to correct and bring it back to the middle.
And you didn't even shave the tooth inside.
Oh yes, I didn't shave your teeth.
And I was like, what? How? I also want to stress here that Dr. Kim is actually not just a cosmetic dentist. She's first an orthodontist. And this is really important because she was saying if you go to just a cosmetic dentist, they can do all the beautifying treatments, but sometimes that doesn't mean that it's good for your long-term teeth health.
If you're not gonna do braces, maybe you could like work with your posture. Because if you have bad posture and if you have a rotated chin, it's gonna like block your airway a lot.
Oh.
And then after that is when you look at what color of teeth you prefer. Now this is actually a super important step.
So it's not really just because it's yellow that it's bad. It's like sometimes it suits the skin tone better.
Of course. It's not always nice that it's white. It's not bad that it's brown or yellow. It's important that it matches your skin, your face, and your smile.
She was even asking me, do you wear a lot of makeup or do you just want really natural teeth? Because if you do, then you probably won't go as like bright. You'll go more towards like a more natural kind of yellow.
This is probably my color.
You don't want it like white. In Korea, we call it toilet white.
So we don't want that. I would say stick to just like 2 shades brighter than your natural teeth, and that way it won't be a shock to the system.
Ugh, my teeth. So scary.
So after that, they'll take a quick mold. And this is what Dr. Young and her whole team will start handcrafting the ceramic laminates around. So actually the first visit is really quick. It's like 1 to 2 hours, because if you don't need to, do any kind of prep, or if you do, maximum would be 3. In other dental lamination clinics in Korea, they use high-tech machines that can create these ceramic or porcelain shells. But in her clinic, they actually hand make each one. And so each one is almost like bespoke. It's like a jewel, and it's tailored specifically to each person's tooth.
Somebody thinks something is beautiful. It's very hard to like say it in words. But I have to fully understand what that person thinks what is beautiful. So photos help tremendously.
Now for the second visit, this is when they'll basically have their ceramic shells made already, and you'll go through a try-on process. So before they permanently adhere it to your teeth, they'll put it all on and see if you like it. And then in that process, you can tell them whether you want any adjustments, whether that's the shaping, the color, and then they can make minor adjustments, and then basically they put it on. The application probably took maybe like 40 minutes, once again, depending on how many teeth you have and if they have to make any adjustments. For me, it was pretty straightforward. And they make sure that you can still floss, which is why this looks crazy. And then you basically have your new teeth. It was this whole new world for me. I was like in shock. I want to give you guys a little summary right here. I'm sure you have thoughts. I definitely have thoughts. Let's talk about it. So let me first go through what it was like. I literally went through so many different mental processes. What's really nice is that you can go straight back into normal living. You can eat what you want. You can drink what you want. It doesn't stain. So our teeth are very porous and basically absorbs everything. These teeth will not stain. So that's kind of cool. Internally, I was like a little bit numb, to be honest. It's like you look different. The week after, I felt like a little sad and I was conflicted because I was like, they did such a good job. These look really good, but I'll never see my old self again. And there was this kind of grief. It was as though some part of me had died. Like, not to sound over dramatic, I felt like I lost a bit of myself and I got kind of like really scared at that thought. Compared to people who were never satisfied with their teeth, maybe they never had good teeth to begin with, I wasn't like that. You know, I'm sure it will be different for everyone because some people are just like, yay, who cares? Like, brand new me. But like, I am sentimental like that. I love natural beauty. Not to say that it's not natural anymore, but like it's changed. Part of the reasons why you're in shock is also because it happened so quickly that your brain, even with the most minor changes, it has to relearn who you're looking at in the mirror. Basically, she gave me braces overnight. When I took photos, when I would take videos and I would look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like who is this? And it wasn't good or bad. It was just like, I couldn't process it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm telling you guys, like any permanent treatment, no matter how minor it is a big change. And I like really want to stress that, which is why I would say if you're interested in changing or enhancing your teeth, you can try things like whitening first. You can try Invisalign first or braces. That way you're kind of like changing it gradually. Moving on to about 1 to 2 months later, I couldn't say F. I couldn't get the air out anymore. And I was like, oh my God, does this mean I can't say my own name forever? I can now, but your mouth and your jaw and your facial muscles, your lip muscles, all have to kind of recalibrate. It's actually taken me 3 months to really get used to this. And now when I look in the mirror, I don't feel shock. Once again, I think it would depend on how little or how much has been changed. Now this next portion is actually what I think is the most interesting thing. Our teeth reveal a lot about us because I realized that depending on who I told or who I showed my teeth to, there were completely different reactions as well. One of my team is from Malaysia and she was saying in Malaysia, if you have any kind of like dental treatment, like braces, they actually see that as affluence. You're considered rich in that society. And I'm like, oh my God. Like when I got braces, I was like, why? It was like literally because you have to. And I was thinking about this in Korea. They really do have this kind of obsession with perfectionism, right? One of my friends was telling me in Korea, they do all these like facial treatments or like plastic surgery, but they don't consider their journey of beauty finished until their teeth are done. Like the teeth are the final destination of beauty. You can kind of think of your teeth as almost like an accessory. It's like a handbag. I was sitting there like, everything that you see on like even Singles Inferno, all the girls have perfect teeth. Literally all I think about is skincare. And it made me think pretty privilege is truly a thing over there. Not just Koreans, but like in Asia, your image is really your status symbol. It really does create kind of like a culture around it. I think that's why It's so competitive and so innovative and driven from this fact. Then what's missing is a lot of this acceptance of just your natural self, because it's hard to stand out in a society that's constantly judging you based on your look. I don't know if you've heard stories of on your resume in Korea, you actually have to put a picture of yourself because people not only look based on merit or performance, they actually look at what you look like for employment. And so these kind of things, it's so cultural versus like in the West, we look at anything teeth related as just like a functional thing, right? It's like if you have a chip, you go and fix it. You go to the dentist because you have to. It's not this kind of like sign of wealth or that you're kind of doing better in life. Thomas, it was like all kind of overlapping over each other, but he also didn't have a problem with it until he went to the dentist, and the dentist was like, you have to get Invisalign, and not because of aesthetics, but because your teeth are so crowded that it's putting so much pressure onto your teeth and the roots that by the time you get older, your teeth will fall out because there's just too much pressure on it. And so he got Invisalign, not because of aesthetics and having straight teeth, but because literally the long-term health would be in jeopardy if he didn't. We want to look and feel healthy and beautiful, and if we can get both of them at once, like, of course. Daily oral tips and habits that we should all be doing, because once again, our teeth are so precious. Starting with flossing. So I used to be terrible at flossing, but basically you want to floss at least every day or every other day, and it's better to get the string of floss rather than use the picks. And my dentist was telling me because the picks can't actually maneuver and get into the crevices, a lot of the plaque is still wedged in there. On top of that, she says if you floss and it still bleeds, that means that you're not flossing enough or you're not flossing hard enough. You actually really want to get all the way into the gums, and that's because that's where the bacteria and the buildup is. Make sure you're doing it right. Next is mouthwash. This is because in Asia, in Korea, in Taiwan, everywhere they're regimented, and the best time is to do this 10 to 30 minutes after a meal. I actually take those Japanese packets all the time with me because they literally pull all this like nastiness out, so when you spit it out, it's like literally black.
Ew! Wait, why is it like that? I swear my mouth is not that dirty.
So there's some that do that, some that don't. Mouthwash. The other one is xylitol gum. So not just any gum. So xylitol, you'll find these little, like it says it on the front. Xylitol actually disrupts the production of a cavity causing bacteria, and therefore it can decrease the plaque that builds up. And the best time to chew gum is around 20 minutes after any kind of meal. Next is actually your toothbrush. You should actually use a soft toothbrush. You know how there's soft, medium, and hard? Only use the soft. And that was what the dentist said, because I'm sure maybe a lot of you are brushing your teeth wrong. You should actually be brushing it on a 45-degree angle and using circular motions against the gum. So most of us are going like front on, zigzagging, right? You actually want to use small circular motions because that's where the bacteria builds up and that's where inflammation of the gum line happens. And then on the bottom, 45 degrees down. So don't brush your teeth like straight on, because if you do that, it will also lead to gum recession. I used to brush way too hard. And then something that I have bought but I haven't started using yet is a water pick. So this uses water pressure as well as pulsations. And this helps to get stubborn food and also plaque out of really hard to reach places that your toothbrush can't get to. So the best time to use this is actually before you brush your teeth. Yes, I will be trying this ASAP. Okay, I shared a lot, and hopefully this will just kind of help you prepare and think through before doing anything, really. Like, there are so many things in our life that we can just kind of like get swept up in it. I think because of social media, we're just like constantly comparing. We're constantly thinking that what we see is actually real life, but it's not. Like, there's a whole life outside of what you see online, and kind of show you that with all good things there are not so good, and with not so good things there are still positives. And I hope you guys all know that you are worthy, you are beautiful, you don't need to change anything about yourself. to be beautiful and to be accepted. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we have so much more coming up. We are going to Japan next. I have a whole haul and it will be really fun. Like, even though I have all of my thoughts, I still really enjoyed the process with her. She takes so much time with you and will walk you through everything. So if you are looking for any kind of like orthodontics or teeth whitening and you're in Korea, I would highly recommend you go to her. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye.